Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Emmy here. Welcome to the Emmy experience. So today we're just gonna keep it rolling with the moon series. We're talking about Scorpio today, but first, if y'all aren't familiar with what the moon represents in astrology, it really just gives you the best understanding of how a person is, like their internal self, and also how they process their emotions. This is the most accurate description of like how they feel comfortable, how they process their emotions, how they react to things in general. Like this is a really good way to like just get in the mind of whoever you're trying to understand. Also does show a lot about like your inner self, your shadow self, past lives even, but that's a different topic. Just like what people don't normally see right away. It also does describe like how you feel comfort and how you feel like what makes you feel comfortable and your love languages. I mean, it's not just the moon that shows your love languages, but this is definitely one of those placements that does show how you want to connect with somebody on an emotional level. Venus and Mercury also, I feel like, have a play in that as well. But let's get into this video, shall we? What accent is that? But yeah, let's just get into this video, shall we? So Scorpio moon. Scorpio moons. So Scorpio is the opposite of Taurus. A Taurus moon or moon in Taurus is exalted, which means that a Scorpio, because Scorpio is the opposite of Taurus, is detrimented. So the moon doesn't like to be in Scorpio. Scorpio has a lot of need for control and power, and it's not afraid to hide its emotions, where the moon wants to be able to process it. And it's not that you guys don't process your emotions, but it's very compartmentalized, I guess. I really know how to explain that, but you really want to gain power in this life. You really want to gain, like, it's not necessarily status, but it's just like you want what's yours, I guess, and rising up. But it's not necessarily like financially, but like there is a financial aspect to it too, because of course, like, being success and getting that like respect that you deserve does sometimes correlate with that. In old astrology, Scorpio is considered ruled by Mars. In Western astrology, Scorpio is considered to be ruled by Pluto. So Mars has a lot to do with that like power and like that go-getter mindset, but Pluto also has a lot to do with that psychological aspect, where it's really important to like understand people, but in a way like not control their mind, but it's just like you guys can be manipulative. Like that's one of the like bad traits, or like a low vibrating Scorpio moon would try to like manipulate people, because it's like you understand how they work and you know how to like say things, because it's like in a very like you just know how to slide in there, you know, and get what you want from a situation. Like that's definitely a talent of y'all's. And also like Scorpio energy, like you probably just have like a very like, you like to be mysterious. You don't like everyone to know everything about you. You peel your layers very slowly, but also there's a lot of layers to you. You're like an onion. You have this very like mysterious and like enticing, and like it's like intense energy, and it's very like, you're not the type of person that likes to really like be in big social group settings. You prefer like one-on-one intimate like dialogues. Depends on the rest of your chart, but usually like you really like to get to know people on a like a soul level. Like you want to connect with people on like mentally and like spiritually, and like just really like know somebody for who they are and not the facade. So I think that makes you very like magnetic, because your energy is very like intentional in that way, I guess. So it's like people pick up on that, and like there's something about Scorpio placements, like their eyes, it's very like it draws you in. Like there's just something like you can tell if somebody's like has a Scorpio in their big three by like their gaze, if that makes sense. But you guys know that like you can kind of like a snake charmer. It's just like you get hooked, and you can get what you want out of that. So I mean, that can work for you or it cannot work for you. Like it can come back and bite you later in life, or not later in life, but like karma, you know. So just like being mindful of all your actions cause a reaction. So yeah, But I think that's another reason why you guys are so worried about like keeping the control, like being the one in control, because you don't want to get taken advantage of. Like you guys are very guarded people. You don't like to share too much about yourself. You guys can be very secretive, and you kind of like test people. I feel like you'll test someone with like something small to see if they really do deserve your trust. You know, can I allow them into all of this? You know, it's very like, I don't know. You test people so you can actually figure out before being surprised, because you don't like to be surprised. Kind of like Virgo in a way, or like things have to, you kind of plan things out, but in a way that like makes, because you want power. So it's always like, how can I have the upper hand? And that's the thing that hurts about like opening up about your emotions, because it's just like, you won't have the upper hand once all your cards are on the table. So you always hold on to at least 5. Like that's such a Scorpio thing. Like that's because Scorpio moons, you take on a lot of Scorpio, like you take on that Scorpio energy. Even though, and it's like, I get it, like you guys are just, you want to hold that because you know that you are sensitive, and you guys do put in a lot of work of making yourself look like you're not as much of a softie as you are. You just don't want to show it, and you don't want to show it to just anybody. And you have a hard time like even really like expressing it, because it makes you feel very like uncomfortable and vulnerable, and vulnerability isn't something that you're comfortable with doing. But it's learning experience. It's not like you can't. But like I said, like wanting to always have the upper hand, like you'll make your decision based off like, how can I maintain the upper hand versus like what's authentic to what I feel. You just need to make sure that you're still safe. Oh yeah, and because of that, you're really good at weighing your options, because you can look at all the facts. Another thing is like, so in modern Western astrology, you're ruled by Pluto. Pluto also rules a lot of that like karmic and like things that are secrets, things that were done in the dark. It also does rule a lot of psychological aspects. So like you guys are really into analyzing people, picking up their little signs, and like something you really analyze. You're just attentive. You're attentive, and you peep the things that people don't think people are paying attention to, because you're always trying to assess who is real and who is fake. That's really what that comes down to, and that's a survival thing, because I feel like Scorpio is very much so just like trying to survive, I guess, really. Yeah. I feel like some bad traits like is like you guys can be very like suspicious of people because of this, like suspicious because you're afraid to like get hurt, or suspicious because you just don't trust these actions, or like these actions aren't adding up. But in reality, it could just be your paranoia, because paranoia is also a very like common trait for a Scorpio moon. Being possessive of like your things, especially people, because like those all, you see them as like your, not your things, but like this is mine, because you don't want to claim a lot of things, but a lot of the things that you do claim is yours. And also like pessimism, you guys can kind of see like the worst in the situation, or like you're just like you want to prepare yourself because you want to have the control of the situation. So what's one way that you can like maintain that control? And that's by like what's the worst thing that could happen, and that way I'm prepared because I know what would happen in all outcomes. Just try not to be so closed off with people. You never know. But I also like I can't be mad at it, because I understand. I know Scorpios, they always get this reputation of being very like sexual, which is like true to a certain extent. But I just wanted to highlight that it's like you guys, it's not like you guys are all hoes. Like it's not like, oh, you hear Scorpio and they're gonna want to fuck or whatever. Like that's not, oh, excuse me, can I curse on here? I can curse on here. It's my channel. But yeah, like, oh, like they just want to fuck or whatever. But it's not really like the case. You guys are also looking for intimacy, because you guys are all about connecting with people on every level. So I mean, I'm sure you guys are able to like separate physical, mental, and like physical and like emotional, but that's not what you would prefer to do. So I mean, even if it was just like physical and mental, you could still subtract like the emotional. But like I think you want more of that, just one, like just physical, you know, that's just so like two-dimensional to you. It's just like there's no substance in that. One thing that I do like is that y'all do not care what other people think. which is very beautiful. You're very like confident and like true to yourself, and, like honest about, you're not really the type to like lie or like bullshit people, but you do care a lot about, or like there's like a paranoia of being lied to, or or to be on the receiving side of being taken advantage of. Like you are worried about that too, especially the people that you've already like established a relationship with. It's like, oh fuck, like is this gonna backfire on me? It's again losing that control. So like y'all can give attitude. Scorpio placements can give attitude. If you're gonna give them like Scorpios, they either hold their tongue or they say everything. No in between. So be mindful of that. And like you have to be mindful of that, because you either hold your tongue or you say everything that you've been thinking, and all this little data that you've been like collecting. And like sometimes you can really like hurt and sting people because of that, because you're saying things that hurt, if that makes sense. So yeah, just be mindful of that, because you guys are so like intense and like passionate when you speak, or like just with anything that you do, that it can come off kind of explosive when you do when you go 0 to 100, and like it hurts people. So depending on the situation, you know, but yeah, that can and that does happen. So you guys are really good at getting what you want from people. You guys are very karmic. You might notice like if you do something bad, like it always comes back to bite you. If you do something good, something good happens. So just be mindful of that when you're trying to be manipulative, because you guys are just like, it's just a very karmic energy that Scorpio possesses. So just like being mindful of like the actions and the decisions that you make, because that will play an impact on like your path and like where you end up in your next life or the next week, you know, whatever you want to believe in or however you want to see it, like however long term you want to see it. But like instant karma or like things like that, you might notice happens, or like you might cheat on someone in your next relationship, you get cheated on, like things like that tend to like happen. Just be mindful of that. Like you might be able to use the power of manipulation to win the battle, but you want to win the war, you don't want to lose the war, you know. So just be mindful of things like that. Yeah, but to end it on something more positive, like since you guys are so all or nothing, I think finding your passion is really gonna be beneficial for you, especially because like you guys hold a lot of like sexual energy, and like that's very like creative energy. So I feel like whatever like you feel connected to, whether it's like music, astrology, because I feel like you guys are also really into like metaphysics, spirituality, whatever it is that you connect with, like really learning more about that, or whatever it is that you've been saying like you want to start doing. You know, even painting, that's very like meditative. Finding what works for you and figuring out a way to take that energy and like just watch what kind of like magic and what kind of things you can actually create for yourself. Like even like if a YouTube channel, like whatever you want to create, like that's like very true to you and like how you see the world, it could really surprise you by how much you can transmute like a lot of negative energy by creating something beautiful that you're interested in. Yeah, but it's all about finding what works for you. But yeah, that was my interpretation of a Scorpio moon. If you found this video helpful, please let me know. If you have a Scorpio moon or know anybody with a Scorpio moon, comment down below. Did I miss anything? Did I nail it on the head? Feel free to let me know. And if you were feeling the vibes, hit subscribe right over there. Ew, I feel so corny. But yeah, subscribe, you know, feeling the vibes. Let your girl know she's not talking to herself. Yeah, but y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching, and watch my next video. Sag moon. Deuces. Watch this shit. Watch it.